the week. One of the events of the week was Eric Latif really was Eric Latif basically quitting Spice FM and going over to Nation FM. So, what do you think about Eric Latif quitting Nation FM and quitting Spice FM and going over to basically Nation FM? First of all, remember African urban radio is under siege because you have all this competition from other streaming platforms. You have podcasts, you have YouTube, you have the social media channels. So basically, they are. That is the competition. And remember, Nation FM had been shut between 2016 and 2021. So basically, that shows you that mainstream media is falling apart. So what can I think the future of mainstream media is in commentating? I just think that the future of mainstream media is in commentating. So I think we'll be able to. That's how we'll be able to innovate. And basically, commentating is the future of urban radio. I think rural media is doing well. I think you have the likes of Citizen Radio, Radio Citizen, Radio 47, Radio Maisha, and I think Millennium FM. They are doing fairly well. And I think also the I think also the tribal stations, the ethnic stations, vernacular stations, they are doing well. So what will Eric Clarity bring? I think mainstream media is suffering. You think about, and it's not just in Kenya. I think it's the world over. Look at in America, you have Donald Trump. You have TikTok that has 170 million Americans. You have the ratings of CNN fall down. You have the ratings of CNN falling down. So basically, now CNN averages just about 600,000 viewers on prime time, and that's a very very small sum. So I think mainstream media is falling apart. I think the business model of mainstream media must be sub. That's the only way mainstream media is going to succeed. That is by ensuring that it is up to scratch, by ensuring that it basically functions well. That's how mainstream media is going to survive. And if mainstream media is to survive, then basically it has to give us insight. That's what the former CEO of Financial Media Group, Linus Guitar, he said. He said, focus on insights. That's the way to make mainstream media. That's the way mainstream media is going to succeed. So I think by now you now know that basically there is very little that the mainstream media can do. That's about the power of technology. Look at America. In the recently concluded year, the son of Donald Trump, Baron Trump, telling Donald Trump that father, you have to do podcasts, and that's how Donald Trump won a big chunk of the youth vote. So basically, they said that is, and I think that's why TikTok is betting that Donald Trump will revive the fortunes of TikTok. Remember, on 19th of January, that is, TikTok is facing a ban in the U.S. So basically, they say that it's a national security issue that TikTok is facing a ban in America. It's a national security issue. So they say the parent company of TikTok, that is ByteDance, collects user information and shares it with the Chinese Communist Party, which they say then relates that information, basically relates that information to relates that information to the Chinese Communist Party. So then Chinese Communist Party is spying on Americans through TikTok. So that's what they say. But I think right now what we need to be able to do is to be able to basically just is to be able to basically just ask the future of media is in commentating, is in talk shows. I think that's the future of radio. I think talk radio is still going to do very well because very much it's like a podcast. That is TikTok, and that is talk radio is more like a podcast. That's why you see in America they have incorporated a lot of podcasters into talk radio. So I think that is going to elevate the status of is going to elevate the status of talk shows. So I think even for Eric Clark, as he quits Space FM, first of all, we don't know whether it is low pay, but Standard Media Group generally, the Moy on Standard Media Group is facing financial turmoil. So basically, it is homo-hedging from staff living for upper hill salaries, such as Royal Media, Citizen TV, and then of course you have NTV. And remember, NTV also National Media Group has over relied on newspapers to be able to generate profits, but then it needs also to make money from TV. It needs to make money from a radio, and that's why maybe they are poaching Reclate. So of course he conducts very good interviews, and of course that is the way we are going to see. Then another event that happened during the week was the release of the KCSE results. That's the release of the KCSE results. So we are going to be seeing results of KCSE being released, and of course KCSE is the high school exit exam. So what more can KCSE do? I think basically we will have basically 25% of the students got grade C plus and above, but then all of them are heading over to university. So Kenya is becoming like Nigeria. So I think you will find doctors being bus drivers, you'll have engineers selling eggs on the street. That's where jobs are so scant in Kenya, in Africa generally. And I think are we prepared for all these hundreds of thousands, millions of graduates that are poured to the job market every year? Are we prepared for the millions of graduates that are prepared, are going to the job market every year? And then the other issue, so basically, and I think of course the government has to make the operating environment of business to be the operating environment of business to be basically to be business friendly. Why are you taxing them so highly? And I think no one has ever taxed their way to prosperity. Really, what you do is you increase the tax base, put more money in people's pockets, enable the businesses to be able to function well. That's how you resuscitate an economy that is dying. And I think the Ruto administration has commissioned a report, basically has commissioned a report to look at why businesses are leaving Kenya, or maybe, and I think that is because of the high taxes. There is no reason why it should tax. No country has ever taxed their way to prosperity. The way to increase the number of jobs being created, leave it to businesses, and make maybe even have 1 year where they are not paying taxes, so that then they can create employment, which then can fuel prosperity. Then you tax those people. Don't tax your way to prosperity. You are overtaxing this small cadre when we could have made a better business environment to do business, so that then we increase the climate for doing business, and that's the way to be able to position the Kenyan job market. So you let me know, what do you think about that is this 25% getting above grade C plus? Are we prepared for the jobs that are coming on? And of course, the other issue you have to address is brain drain. So basically, the best and brightest KCSE students are leaving for jobs abroad. That is the best and brightest KCSE students are leaving for jobs abroad. So are we prepared for the jobs that are coming? That's what we need to ask. I think a lot of these high school brilliant minds are going to get full scholarships to American colleges. So you can't have a university such as Harvard has an endowment of $53 billion. So how do you make it possible? How it is able to attract the best and brightest brains from across the world? So then and that's how it is able to skim off the brightest minds from across the world. Then they get to creative jobs after they graduate, and they never come back to Kenya. According to the former Vice Chancellor of JKU, Professor Nick Wanjohi, he says that an African migrant to the United States contributes at least 40 times more to the American economy than they do to their home country in terms of remittances. So that's why I urge that basically we should be able to have we should be able to have Kenyan we should be able to have these plans benefit us as it looks now. Our education budgets are but supplements to the American education budget, because these plans don't come with a small list. You have in 1989 the top student was he ended up, he is now a doctor in Australia, the top student from Alliance High School. He went to Australia. The best student in 1990, Fred Weller, he is a medical doctor in America. The best student in 1991, Humphrey Watanga, he came back. He is now the Commissioner General of KRA, the Revenue Authority. The best student in 1992, Gilbert Ngeta, went to from Mango High School. He is a researcher in America. The best student in 1993 was Sheni Kanyaro. He went to Harvard from Alliance High School. He is he works in the financial sector in America. Then the best student in 1994, KCSE, Kilimania Murizi, that is he from the Alliance High School. He went to MIT, that is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Then in 1995, James Mwangi from Alliance High School went to Harvard, and in 1996 he is a management consultant in South Africa, Dalberg Group. In 1996, among the top students was Nathaniel Choge, and basically he is a financial consultant in America from Alliance High School. 1997, the best student was Mashuma Nyata from Alliance High School. He went to basically Harvard, and of course he is now, I think, a financial consultant at Software Bank. And then in 1998, the top student was Timothy Zairu. He went to Alliance High School. Basically, he is at, I think, at Microsoft, an engineer. In 1999, Samuel Gikandi from Alliance High School. He went to, I think, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Then the top student in 2000, that Champanti, got a mean of 85%. I think if you adjust for inflation, that comes to about 92% in today's terms. So he went to University of Adelaide. I think he was a PhD candidate at the University of Adelaide, and of course he is now a defense software engineer at Apogee Systems. Then the best student in 2001, Amit Monga, went to basically I think McGill University in Canada. Then in 2002, the top student was Paul Bondi. He went to Kenya from Kenya High School. He went to the University of Nairobi. He is a medical doctor there. And of course, the top student in 1994, in 2005, James Candiero teach from Moya School, Kabarak. He went to MIT, and of course, he is an engineer at Google. So you can see how we lose our best friends. Then another issue, so we need to be able to, I know they do send back money in form of remittances, and remittances are among the highest foreign exchange earners for the country, but I think we also need to be able to maybe have a way. So we need the ideas and investments. The Nigerian American Philip Megwadi, who co-invented the supercomputer after modeling it after the bee honeycomb, he says that that is Philip Megwadi. He says that Africa will still be poor even if $1 trillion was poured into it, since it has no intrinsic value. All the best friends have left. So that's it. Then into so that means I think in Malawi there are more Malawian doctors in Manchester, England, than in Malawi. So basically, we are training brains for. We are just still training brains for the West. So basically, these people. So during slavery, Africa lost its most physically able, and now, which was the economic differentiator of the time, and now we are losing our most our best and brightest, which is the economic differentiator of our times. Remember, wealth is now intangible idea. So that's it. An event that happened during the week, the release of the high school exam results, and then another event is the swearing in of Ghanaian President John Mahama. So basically, leadership in Africa is a challenge, and I would think that we need more leadership in Africa. Basically, we need more leadership. We are not getting the right leaders. They are kicking the can of development down the road, and that's just the wrong way to go about it. And I think our political parties are briefcase parties just to win elections. I think the difference between the ruling party and the opposition party in Africa is a tribe and a region they draw their support from. So that needs to be looked at. And of course, then another event. So our political parties are really tribal briefcases. They are not centers of ideological thought and opinion. So we need just two parties in Africa. left of center, that is a party about equality of opportunity, and a right of center party that is about right of center party that is about basically that is individual dynamism. That is where you have the creative genius creating wealth. Then another event that happened is Donald Trump was given a non-custodial sentence. So basically, Donald Trump, he is going to, he is the first convicted felon to be elected president, and of course, also the first U.S. president since Grover Cleveland in 1892 to hold two non-consecutive terms. So basically, right now, America is at crossroads. Donald Trump could do away with the constitutional guardrails that underpin American democracy. So this is going to be really one of those things we are really going to be watching out for. So that's it for now. Donald Trump is going to be really test of democracy in America. The institutions will be tested, and America does not need, just like Africa, America does not need strong men. It needs a strong institution. So bye for now. Till the next time. Bye for now.